1,200 metres then for race number 2 at Happy Valley on a Wednesday night. It's a Class 4 contest headed by Lamorosa, who finds himself in Class 4 company for the first time. Paul O'Sullivan and Zach Burton. Gallant returned 4th to Heartskeeper on the all-weather last time out. Lotus Breeze finished 6th in that race. Victory Power has 2 starts. He was run up behind Zero Hedge last time out. Golden Glory also 2nd behind 80-80 last time. Got Flying Godspell 3rd on the all-weather on his last start, and Doctor's Delight taking the blinkers off. He'll jump out of barrier 3 with Alvin in the saddle.
Theoretically, there should be some pace in this. Flying Godspell likes to go forward on the all-weather. He hasn't run very often at Happy Valley. He's an interesting contender with his lightweight. Golden Glory's probably going to have his mind made up for him. Gate 12, Vincent O will probably have him pushing forward. He generally runs races pretty well from that position. And Lotus Breeze, just in behind, she'll get a very nice position.
If you're looking for a case of deja vu, here it is, race 1 into race 2. Lamorosa very similar to Aero Velocity in the fact that Zach Burton's the only man to win on him. It's trained by Paul O'Sullivan. Worth noting, he's had blood in the trachea, a regular heart rhythm at 2 of his last 3, but his last start was good behind Refined Treasure. Lotus Breeze, I made a strong case for him last start on the dirt. He was poor, but I think it's fair to give him another opportunity because his better efforts have generally been on the turf at Happy Valley. And Victory Power has only had the 2 starts, going along nicely. Richard Gibson hasn't done much more with him. He's had a couple of stretch-out gallops, one on the 16th, one on the 20th. Hasn't been bustled to do too much, but coming along nicely, just an awkward draw.
Yeah, he's fit and ready to go. That's Victory Power. Chad Schofield in the saddle. Let's start off with Lamorosa, another class dropper here. Now, this is down the straight at Sha-Tin, and he finishes 6th. He's well beaten, but behind a good one.
He is a Class 3 winner, Andrew, here in Class 4, and Paul often makes those points, and they end up certainly being relevant by the time the race is over. This is a very strong race, as we know. The time was fast. Montreal's in this race. He's in the wrong part of the track, Lamorosa. He's well rated, but he's had issues. Blood in the trachea, irregular heart rhythm. So he's a bit of a pinch of salt scenario.
He's got a slightly awkward gait as well, given some of the horses that are under him. There's some pretty promising types underneath him. So I think he's probably, given the vet's issues that he talked about as well, Brett probably wants just to keep maybe... away from, yes, as far as the tomorrow night's concerned.
All right, OK. Victory Power's come up with an awkward gate. He's managed to find himself on the rail on his 2 starts so far, and well, had to switch here, but still stayed on strongly for 2nd.
Yeah, I like this lad. It was a good run first up, and he backed it up, really. And the 2 races he's run have been sort of different from a kind of time and tactics perspective, and he's managed to cope with a slowly run race in the early stages and a much quicker run race in the early stages too. He's positioned up well when he got a good draw. Gate 11's not ideal, but if they go quick, he'll be staying on and picking them off.
I've left him out, but it could be an error. Just the gate was concerning me. Obviously, C course as well. If they do go quick, that'll be to his advantage if they ride him cold, but the barrier does make it a little tough, but he's got the ability to win it. All
right, OK, that's Victory Power, just 3-year-old. One more to have a look at, and that's Flying Godspell. So some all-weather form to take in here, but well, Mi Choi had a pretty good night out last time we were here, wasn't he?
Yes, and Mi Choi is generally known for his best efforts with horses on the dirt, and this guy's had 3 goes at the Valley, John, and never hit the frame, but he is in reasonable form and he's got all the weight off his back.
He has, and he's just coming back into form nicely as well. He couldn't get out of his own way earlier on in the season, but it's been a definite improvement of late, and from a good gate with that lightweight, I don't think he'll win, but I expect him to be hanging around for a long time.
All right, OK. Open one, this one, Brett. 5.40 currently about the favourite.
It is. Look, Andrew, I made a case for Lotus Breeze last start on the all-weather. Had a little shy at the stumps there. I missed, but the batsman's hit the ball to me again, and I'm a little closer, so I'm going to have another crack and go with him back at Happy Valley on the grass. Lamorosa's got the ability, but there's those, those question marks over, blood in the trachea and heart irregularities and so forth. But the run last start was terrific when you line up it against the opposition. Flying Godspell for the reasons John mentioned, showing character. He really motored home last start at Sha-Tin. He's a better horse at the Valley, so I wanted to include him in 3, 1, 10 and 11, but I'm going to play a trio here, not real confident.
I'll be struggling to extend the cricketing metaphor to mine, so I won't try. I'm going to go with Gallant Return on top here, though. He gets a nice draw. He's 3rd up after a layoff. I remember Paul being very excited about him on the all-weather on his first run after that layoff. He didn't run too badly. He ran better 2nd up. 3rd up, Matthew Poon taking the weight off Gate 2. His only run at Happy Valley was a pretty good one. Victory Power, I think, is possibly, well, I think in the fullness of time, the best of these. I think he's very, very promising. And I think despite Gate 11, he'll still run well. Flying Godspell, because he's got the lightweight and he'll go forward. And Lotus Breeze in there for 4th from Gate 1 for Moreira. And QQP 2 and 5 here, that's a pretty good QP, I reckon.
So good, in fact, John, I agree with you entirely. 2 and 5, 5 and 2, my top two there in race 2.